Welcome, class of 2020, and welcome to all the families and friends that are joining us from all around the world to celebrate this wonderful occasion. Well, I wish I had a superpower that would allow us to be physically together. Unfortunately, I don't. But one power that we all do have is the power to see adversity as an opportunity and to use adversity to reflect, to grow, and to innovate. As you may know, the Gabelli School of Business is celebrating its centennial year, 100 years of purpose-driven business education. You've probably thought, at least a little bit this year, maybe while you were standing online to get your centennial t-shirt, about what the next century will hold. I know I certainly have. After all, we're living the beginning of it together. The virtual world will certainly be a big part of it. The future is really important. But I want to also take a moment to think about the past and to think about the very first business students that we welcomed in 1920. You might guess that you wouldn't have too much in common with them. Men sometimes wore knicker pants with their socks tucked in. Some of them carried pocket watches that had strings attached. Women wore hats that looked a little bit like buckets, and they sometimes carried parasols. Families gathered around the radio in the evening, and they sometimes even went to see silent movies at the theater. It all sounds a little unfamiliar, right? But there's a connection that exists between you and those first students who began the Gabelli School in 1920. When our first business students began Fordham, the United States had just come not only through a world war, but also the influenza pandemic of 1918 and 1919. Those students lived through a reality that isn't all that unlike what you're experiencing today. Urgent news reports about the spread of the flu. People wore masks in the street. There was great economic uncertainty. But the news is good. As your predecessors discovered, the scary, awful time passed. Society recovered. And those same students, in the years that followed, enjoyed a period of remarkable prosperity. Construction of new buildings almost doubled. Fordham's business programs opened in the world's tallest building, the Woolworth Building. Our modern auto industry was born, as was the airline industry. Quality of life changed for the better dramatically. New industries were formed. Refrigerators, vacuums, and washing machines became household items. New opportunities spurred creative people to invent and to innovate. So yes, this has been a really tough year. But a century ago, the young people your age had no way to imagine the time of excitement and the prosperity that awaited them. As you graduate today, I encourage you to think not about the difficulties of the year, but about the positive experiences you had and the profound possibilities that lie ahead. Recall your ground floor project, freshman advising, the career IP. Perhaps you studied in London or experienced another global immersion. Reflect on what lessons you learned and the friendships you made during the Consulting Cup. Take stock in some of the courses you were fully engaged in, from integrated marketing to Python to FinTech, sustainability reporting, design thinking, and so many others. Think about how your professors pushed you to think differently. Reflect on your internships, which happened at over hundreds of companies. You entered competitions like the Venmo Challenge and the Deloitte Chax Challenge, and so many others. You developed new businesses, and you helped the community develop their businesses. You spent time in service with others. I'm so proud of what you've already accomplished. As the future awaits, I know that I will soon look back in amazement at what you all achieved during our time of spectacular recovery and progress. As you leave Fordham and continue on life's adventure, I'm going to ask you to do a few things. Reflect and question everything. One of the most important things a leader can do is ask the right questions. The best questions reflect that person's understanding of the context. Make good choices and grow. Think before you act. Express your creativity. And whenever you can, choose to be happy, because it really is a choice. Seek and seize out opportunities, and understand that adversity helps us innovate in ways we would have never thought of. Finally, remember to say thank you. When we conclude our ceremony, please call or text or Zoom with family, friends, advisors, professors, anyone who has helped you through your undergraduate experience, and let them know that you appreciated their support. I think that at least 10 of such calls and texts are necessary. I'd like to start and take my own advice and thank all of you. Thank you for inspiring me, and thank you for bringing me great joy in what the future holds. One final thing, please remember, especially in these times, that we all have the power to be hopeful, and we all have the power to ensure that greater things will come. Congratulations to the class of 2020. I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to invite Kaylee Wang to provide us with some of her reflections.
Many of you may have seen the quotation around the fountain outside of Caniff. I passed by it often on my walks from Starbucks in the morning to my classes in Hughes Hall. It reads, "Perhaps someday we will look back on these things with joy," end quote. I recall seeing it one day freshman year and thinking it was a bit odd. I thought, of course we will look back on these things with joy. I thought about meeting some of the best friends we've made in our freshman residence halls, our orientation groups, or in our classes, and now I think about kicking off our final year together on Keating steps at the senior toast. It seemed unimaginable to me that we would not look back on these things with joy. We have shared so many joyous moments together during our 4 years at Fordham. Maybe it was learning something amazing that changed your worldview or determined your career path in the classroom, or landing that internship that you had worked so hard for. Or maybe it was even that night where you stayed up late with your friends laughing. Perhaps it was participating in a club or organization and finding your Fordham family, or getting to know a professor who helped you to land your dream internship or mentored you through a tough interview. For me even, it's been those days when you walk by Keating and the light is hitting it just right, and you're reminded how truly lucky we are to be on our beautiful campus. But in the past few months, I have realized what this quotation means. When we found out that the remainder of the semester was going to be online, for many of us, we felt a pain that was indescribable. But in the weeks since, the class of 2020 has proven our resiliency. We have adapted to our new circumstances, gotten up, attended our online classes, finished our remaining assignments, and have supported one another through it all. For many, this graduation is not what we would have expected just several weeks ago. But I hope that we have found a light in one another. Through Zoom calls to stay connected to our friends and compassionate emails and texts to our peers saying that we miss them, I believe that we have found a new type of community in our shared experience. When we arrived on campus back in 2016, Father McShane called us the class of 2020, the visionary class. But in the past few months, we have learned that we are more than that. We are the resilient class. Perhaps someday, we will even look back on these things, like endless Zoom calls, Blackboard discussion posts, Netflix watch parties, and other bonds we have made during this time with joy as well.
Thank you, Kaylee. It is now my pleasure to invite Lucas Fee to share some of his reflections.
Hello, Fordham Gabelli School of Business, class of 2020. My name is Lucas Fee, a member of the Lincoln Center Gabelli class, and I am greatly honored and deeply humbled to be speaking in front of you today. Congratulations, you've made it. After 4 years of hard work, last-minute cramming, 8:30 a.m. classes, the occasional visits to the other campus, the consulting cup, and everything in between, our journey together at Fordham has come to an end. And today we will become, as I'm sure you've heard many, many times throughout the past 4 years, graduates of the Visionary class, the Doedren's Bicentennial class, and the Fordham University class of 2020. Congratulations again on all of your achievements. As we celebrate this moment in our lives, I want to join you in offering my profound gratitude towards everyone who made this day and these past 4 years possible. To our professors and instructors, Fordham staff, administrators, advisors, and deans, on behalf of the class of 2020, I thank you for everything that you have done. I know that we are just beginning to discover the true impact that you have had on our lives. To our parents, while this is not the ceremony that any of us envisioned, I know that you are still proudly watching on, just as you have for the past 20+ years of our lives. You are our backbones, inspirations, and role models, and have earned this day just as much as we have. And to my peers, friends, and fellow students, I will cherish the relationships, friendships, and wonderful times and experiences we have shared and curated together throughout these past 4 years. Throughout my time running the Investment Banking Club, I've spoken with a lot of students who, more often than not, leave with unsolicited advice. I have only one comment for you today. My father always told me that there are 3 things you work for in your professional life: compensation, exposure, and learning curve. I have no doubt that all of you will be successful on the compensation front. You are smart and tenacious and will undoubtedly succeed in any endeavor you undertake. At Fordham, we have already received exposure to the many facets of the business world and beyond, and we will continue to develop new experiences as we embark upon our respective careers and lives. Perhaps the greatest skill that we have learned at Fordham is how to actually learn. As we reflect on the past 4 years, we come to realize that as we sat through our introductory business and liberal arts courses, sure, we were learning the material, but we were also learning something else: how we think critically, how we absorb and analyze and synthesize information, and how we apply it. And I'm sure that at the very least, there was one moment for each of you where you applied all of that and taught yourself something new. I hope that you don't see this as the culmination of your education, but as the start of a new education, a new journey. And I trust that throughout each of your careers, you will always have an element of learning curve and a moment where you teach yourself something new. With that, I want to again offer my sincerest congratulations to all of you for all of your achievements, successes, and triumphs. You have continuously proven that despite events outside your control, shifting circumstances, and the unforeseen, you get the job done. I know that our paths will meet again down the road, but until then, I wish you all the best as you apply your tenacity, enthusiasm, spirit, and intellect into your professional lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. Now I would like to invite Mario Di Fiore and Father Vin Ducola to provide some closing remarks.
Well, Gabelli School of Business Class of 2020, as our ceremony comes to a close, you and I both know where the door closes, the window opens. Yes, you did learn the answer to that commercial's question, what's in your wallet? But you also learned to ask, what's in your heart, your mind, and your soul? So with the knowledge that you gained here in a purpose-driven business education based in the Jesuit tradition, do as St. Ignatius himself requested. Go set the world on fire. Our ceremony is now over. May your next stage in the journey of life joyfully begin. Congratulations.
Class of 2020, congratulations on your great success these past few years. Needless to say, we've missed you these last couple months. The campus is just not the same without you guys. But now, it's time for you to head out and continue on the next chapter of your journey. We know that you will do so with the grit of a Gabelli student and the heart of a Gabelli student. To face the challenges, to do well, and also to do good. we ask just one more thing. Remember, you always have a home here at Fordham. So come back and visit us often.
Thank you all, and congratulations again.